what's up everybody? Eric here from Eric Evolves. I am going to go through the program that I have been running for the past 4 or 5 weeks. I've been seeing some pretty good results for it, and so I just want to kind of make a video of what I've been doing. I'm not saying there's anything anybody needs to do, but this is what I've been doing since the whole quarantine thing started. So I kind of wrote some things out ahead of time, Monday through Sunday, and then I have 9 different blocks. Strength blocks, more strength blocks, and some conditioning. As you see, it's a strength cycle. I'm trying to increase my squat, bench, deadlift. They have fallen off considerably over the last year, and definitely something that I'm focusing on and I need to work on. So without further ado, let me explain kind of the rationale and the theory behind what I'm doing. So I've got 9 blocks. I've got a heavy deadlift, an upper push and pull, a heavy squat, speed deadlift. I've got an arm day. I've got a speed squat, and then I've got 3 different conditioning days for different zones, zone 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to do a whole separate series of videos on the 3 zones of conditioning and how to apply them to CrossFit along with just everyday life, also military training. But that's for another time. I'm not going to get too deep into that. So the way I've got it done is, let me go with this one. So Monday's my heavy deadlift day. Wednesday is my upper push pull, and Friday's my heavy squat day. So that's a pretty typical 3-day split of powerlifting. You know, you got deadlift, upper, bench, back, and then I do squat. I like to squat on Friday and deadlift on Monday. Then I start playing with stuff. So I've got 3 more, I guess you could say, powerlifting strength workouts, but they're much lighter weight and they're for speed. Well, 2 of them are for speed, and then I've got an arm day just for fun, you know, because arms are fun to do. So those get put down here, except they get reversed. So speed deadlift day actually comes down here on Thursday, the day before squats, and speed squat day actually falls right here on Tuesday after deadlift day. And then we plug in the conditioning. So the way I do it, I do my 2 zone on Tuesday, I do my 1 zone on Thursday, and I do my zone 3 on Saturday. And then on Sunday, like I said, I do arms. Why do I do it this way? So I squat here, give myself about 72 hours before I actually am squatting again. Same with deadlift, deadlift here, and deadlift again here. These extra days, these speed days, are super light. There's not a ton of reps. It's exactly what it says. It's working on speed, so I'm not destroying muscle fibers, and the recovery from them isn't too bad. So typical squat day, or typical deadlift day. With deadlifts, I'm doing more of a conjugate method. So I'll work up to a heavy single for the day. This isn't a 1 rep max, it's just a heavy single for the day. Basically, I get up to where I feel like my form's breaking down. I'm like, okay, that's it. The way it's been going lately with deadlift, since I'm conjugating it, it's hard to go by pounds because each week's something a little different, so I'm not gonna pull exactly the same doing a sumo deadlift as I am a regular deadlift from blocks. So it's hard to gauge, like, you know, weight-wise, what's getting better, what's not. But that's okay because, like I said, I have a whole other day that I'm doing deadlift stuff and speed, and occasionally we go back to just your regular deadlift and test it. So I'll work up to a heavy single. Let's say, like today, I did bands. I had bands running across the bar and I pulled against them. So I worked up to a heavy single with that. I dropped that down. Today I dropped it down to 60% and did doubles. Just because my low back was pretty tight. I didn't want to grind any more than I already had. I did a couple accessory exercises I did some core, and that's a wrap. That's all I do on those strength days. Same thing would be here and here. For the upper push-pull, you're gonna see a 2-to-1 ratio of back exercises to chest exercises. So I might do bench, but I'm also gonna do pull-ups and barbell row. I might do dumbbell incline, but I'm also gonna do dumbbell rows and TRX rows or something like that. Trying to get double the volume from the back that I am in the front. Squat day, that one's a little different than the other two. I do straight bar back squat every single week until that number levels off. As long as I'm still seeing an increase in my heavy singles, I'll continue to do that. So each week I go 5 more pounds. If I hit that 5 more pounds, we're done for the day. Next week, we'll try to get 5 more pounds than that. So I back it off. Now in the back squat, I usually sit around 75-85% and do like 5 sets of 2 or 3. Again, working that speed. And I'll do the same thing on the accessory day. So like if we come down here to speed squat and F, I might do front squats fast. I might do back squats fast at like 60%. I'm not trying to push it because again, this one and this one is just extra credit. You could get away with not doing them, but I like doing more because my weights are low and I'm trying to get them up fast, and I'm not killing myself in one day trying to do like this crazy leg day and not being able to move the next day. It doesn't make any sense. It's very counterintuitive to getting stronger, in my opinion. Not that there's anything wrong with having a day like that occasionally, but you don't want to do that every week. Arm day, it's a basic bicep tricep. You can get it out of any magazine, or at least you used to be able to get out of any magazine. Now you go on any site and find an arm and bicep tricep workout. Again, much like upper body day, I do 2-to-1 tricep to bicep, just because triceps are more involved in the bench. So I try to work those more. I do those on Sunday as almost an active recovery day. For me, I like to do that as kind of a relaxation day. I just come out here, pump some curls, some tricep work, listen to some music, and just, beach body it out. It's like a chill day in here. G through I, so the different conditioning days. Like I said, I'm gonna make a series of videos for that. Working on the 3 different energy systems. So zone 1 is gonna be like your sprint work. So it's gonna be 100-meter sprints with a lot of rest in between. It's gonna be maybe 30 seconds on Airdyne, 30-second dumbbell snatch, and then a whole bunch of rest with some rounds in between. It's really pushing that beginning. Again, I'm not gonna get into science of it because I'm gonna make that, but it's getting to the beginning of your conditioning and your ATP and all that stuff. I'll explain that later. Conditioning zone 2, it's kind of a tweener. The stuff that I was just talking about, the sprints, this actually worked out there. There's a lot of crossover. Again, I'll get into that. Just think of this as very intense fast, zone 1. Zone 2 is kind of moderate, not quite as intense and fast. And then zone 3 is like your long. That's like your marathon. That's like your long ruck marches. That's possibly a super long Metcon if you're doing CrossFit. Anything that's like over 30 minutes of work where your heart rate is not maxed out the entire time, but it's definitely at a steady rate of, for like me, it'd be like 150 beats per minute. You'd have to get all that information yourself from like a Whoop or a heart rate monitor or something like that. I can't tell you exactly where your heart rate would be just from talking, but mine's around 150, somewhere in that area. So yeah, that's how I lay it out. So 6 strength workouts, 3 conditioning. There is some core involved. I do abs, if that's what you want to call it, core work, whatever you want to call it. I do those Mondays and Fridays as well, just to strengthen the core after I do some heavy work. Other than that, I don't think there's a lot more to explain about it. I wouldn't get too much into like what exercises I'm doing for accessories and things like that, because that's all going to be based on your weaknesses or anything like that. This program works really well for me. Like I said, I'm definitely seeing results, especially on my squat. Like I said, each week I'm going up about 5 pounds. Well, I am going up 5 pounds each week. I've been doing this for 5 weeks. So in the last 5 weeks, I've gained 25 pounds on my back squat. Now, it was super low to begin with. I haven't really pushed back squat in a long time, so it was much lower than it had been. So I'm getting back up. So it's going to go fast anyway. But it's not just the weights going up, the speed of which I'm hitting these heavy ones. Like the one I hit last Friday, which was 5 pounds more than the one I had the previous week, went much smoother, much better form, and much faster. So I know I'm gaining my strength back. Other than that, if you have any questions, any comments, by all means, leave them in the comment section and I'll get to them if I can. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Eric Evolves. I'm just doing this because I've been wanting to kind of get down what I'm doing and explain it, not just for other people, but for myself. Eventually, someday, I'd like to write a book that is geared towards military people who are working out at home and how they can kind of do their programming and everything. You know, maybe they're a good athlete, but they don't want to get behind the science. They just want somebody to point them in the right direction. It's kind of what I want to do. So it's a lot of experimentation right now on myself on what I'm doing. But again, if you got any questions, any comments, by all means, leave them in the comments, and I will see you again next time. Have a good one.